everybody. It's Sunday, the 26th of June, 2022. Time for a video diary update on the last few days of my adventure. To tell you the truth, I'm just bored out of my mind. Let's see. I'm in Washington State now, heading towards Spokane from the Columbia River. Yesterday I went to Mount St. Helens, and I tell you, that was amazing. If you're into history and geology and just nature, it was amazing. It encompassed everything from, the volcano to what happened, lives affected, people lost, interesting stuff. Not easy to get there. You're climbing through mountains and you drive, 30, 40 miles from the main highway up a road, and then you gotta come right back. There is no loop or anything like that. But it was amazing. I've been gone for 2 weeks. I don't even know. And I've not had one raindrop on this vehicle. It has just been sun. I don't think I've seen anything that resembles a cloud. And I've been in, I don't know how many states. Let's see, what else? Oh, I want to say hi to the people on YouTube that follow versus Facebook. I never thought I'd be talking like one of these knuckleheads. But hi to my Scott Drive neighbors. I'm getting updates that they have been following and giggling, so hopefully soon, and then we can burn some wood in this cul-de-sac and giggle some more about these stories. Let's see. So drove through Portland. I gotta tell you about Portland. I've never been to Portland, and I can tell you one thing: I will never go back to Portland. What a shithole! Oh my God! And I didn't even stop there. It was just straight through it on the interstate. I have never seen so much graffiti in my life, and I tell you where it was located. You're driving under bridges, and it's up under the bridge. It's on the signs attached to the bridge. I'm going, there's no way that a human being could spider monkey their way out there in spray paint in great detail, some shit that you can't read because you can't make it out. And when do they do this? In the middle of the night? The cement Jersey barriers along the interstate, covered in graffiti. There's 6 inches from the roadway to the Jersey barrier, and there's graffiti. How do they sit out there and not become road pizza? I have no idea. If these homeless idiots are, apparently they're not that broke that they can afford copious amounts of spray paint. Homeless encampments everywhere, tents everywhere. Yeah, nice policies there, Washington or Oregon. Keep up the good work. You're doing great. And apparently they just I talked to some guy at a gas station because some dude came up and wanted to sell us his rings because he needed gas money. And this guy lit into him. A lot of vulgarities and get the heck out of that, and I'm like, and so we start talking for 45 minutes. He's a local out there, and I ain't saying he's a big Biden supporter, to tell you the truth. So he was kind of entertaining, but he just says that they passed laws, so now there's no prosecution for even hard drugs. So possession of heroin and possession of meth is A-okay. Weed's totally legal. And interesting. But there's some dandies. Let's see. So after Mount St. Helens, had to drive back just to the edge of Portland to get back out and take interstate on the south side of the Columbia River going east, because I wanted to go see that Multnomah Falls. And so I got to see the falls, did some video on on that and some photos. And then, as in every night, I got to panic and figure out, okay, now where the heck am I going to sleep tonight? So I was getting close to, I wouldn't mind getting a hotel because I'm starting to get a little gamey again, dipping in a pond or a river, or the last I think was the hot springs. So try to look. Cheapest hotel within 100 miles is $250. I'm like, I guess I'll suffer for another day or two. So that didn't happen. But then I was like, I'm running out of daylight. I don't want to sit there and cook something tonight. I didn't get anything. I didn't buy any food or go out to eat, I should say, during the day. So I'm like, I'll treat myself to dinner. So I call Carrie and I'm like, I'm heading this way. Here's my location. Find me something. Because the road I'm on literally looks like a small intestine. It was just like this. So she goes, well, you're coming up to the next town called Hood River. And that's in Oregon. And I said, yeah, find me some. So she sends me a location. It's their wood fire pizza place. I said, oh, cool. I'm going to get pizza because I was running out of time. They're open till 9. It's 8:10. Like, I'll make it. So I pull in, follow the instructions, and I'm thinking, how big can this city be? It's not that big. It's only 3,000 or 4,000 people. But apparently they got a pretty nice TIF district going because where I went was everything was new. Everything was landscaped. It's like 3 or 4 buildings, high end, with outside dining restaurants all scattered, and modern and yuppie, just gen everything. And I'm like, oh boy. And so I go in and find this place, and I could tell I was out of my element because there was some money sitting in that place. So I get seated by the hostess or host dude, and he was very very helpful. And I think they thought that I was one of the homeless dudes that was sleeping out in the park because I smelled like Sasquatch's balls. But they gave me a table, so I ordered a pizza, wood fired. I'm looking around at the scenery, and every table had probably one of the top 10 most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life, and they're all drinking funny drinks and laughing, and I'm sitting there in my solo depression, and they're like, how many in your party? Me. I don't think they've ever served a single person by themselves. So anyway, before I ordered a pizza, a small pizza and a soda, and I'm watching the staff. What an outfit that was. So this is, the whole skinny jeans hipster. Everybody's got a tattoo and 9 piercings. The dude making the pizza crust, he's got his entire neck tattooed, and he had those, I don't know, they look like saucers in his ears. He stretched out his earlobe, but I've seen them where they're that big, and I'm like, what the hell is that? This thing was, 7 inches across in both ears. And he's sitting there flipping pizzas, and these things are slapping him in the head. And I'm like, okay, man, I understand. Community college wasn't your best bet, and, things were a little tough, But I appreciate you got a job. You got a job, and, you keep working. You may get custody of your kids back. That's good. Life is good. So anyway, pizza comes out very good. Like any wood-fired pizza, the crust bumps up on the sides and turns, to charcoal, and you got to nibble around that. But that was good. So I think the waitress is a little surprised that this homeless guy came in and tipped her. I did the math later, and it was 35%. But hey, I'm a kind guy. So anyway, Now the dilemma is, where am I going to camp tonight? Where am I going to sleep? What am I going to do? And this whole riverfront area is super fancy. And I drove around, and on this trip I have gotten real keen to looking at other overlanders, as they call them. It's people that do this stuff with their vans or their trucks, and they basically travel the country living in their vehicle. And I go down on the side street, and I'm like, well, here's these $100,000 Mercedes-Benz camper vans, and these are the true ones, 4-wheel drive. They got all the toys. They got the satellite phone antenna and all this stuff, and bikes. I'm like, well, they're parked here, and I could see because they had all the curtains drawn across, and I've got a screen that goes across here so that you can't see if I'm in the back, and I got all the windows covered. I go, well, this beats sitting at a truck stop, because that was the second plan if I couldn't find that, or there was no parks around there. So it was perfect. It was a little hot. It was the sunset, and I got a couple photos, but I didn't wake up. I went to bed, and I uploaded videos last night, did a little editing, and then went to sleep in the back, and I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, and it was a good night's sleep. Nothing woke me up, no noise. The only thing is, when I was going to sleep, all the other screwballs that were not overlanding, but it was very close to a bunch of homeless dudes that were kind of wandering around, got nothing to do in life but smoke weed and ride your skateboard. Well, I can't stand the smell of that shit, and I tell you, they could be 100 yards away, and you can smell it from there, and they're out there smoking away, waking me up with that. Luckily, I think they finally ate a bag of Doritos and went to sleep, so I didn't have to smell that anymore. Let's see. So then I woke up, got everything squared away, packed up, and ready to go. Started heading east, and at this point, I'm realizing I don't have a plan. So at the next rest stop was basically a map of the Oregon Trail, and I did that video on Facebook of that, but I may include it on this one. Basically, I was at the end of the Oregon Trail, so I followed it from Nebraska all the way up, and kind of followed the California Trail down, not as an intention, but that was to go to Crater Lake, but then it went straight south into California, and then I followed the coast back up, and then I ended up going to where the Oregon Trail technically ended, in this big valley just east of Portland. So that was cool. So now I am going to Coeur d'Alene in northern Idaho. Why? Because I bought a map for Idaho, and if you ever travel, you got to get these. They're like $24 per state, but that's been a godsend, because when I didn't have one for Oregon or Washington, you can't find any, all the little details of fun stuff to go see, and Pinterest and shit like that is just one baloney story after, hey, look at our travel plans, and this is what we did. And it's just a tourist trap for stuff that isn't that interesting. So anyway, I'm gonna go to Coeur d'Alene. Now, that's the problem. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do there, because that's a beautiful area, but I don't have a plan yet. I got to figure out what I'm going to do there in northern Idaho. Idaho has so far been the funnest place, I think, just for beauty, because of the just pure nature. But you're also so limited on contact and phone service and all that kind of stuff. But that's the plan for tomorrow. Today, get to Coeur d'Alene, and then figure out what I'm gonna go see and do, and maybe spend one day there. And then by Polster, I put it out there on what I'm gonna do. My wife has just been adamant that I need to go to Glacier National Park. It isn't a park that you can just drive in for a day and leave. It's massive. So I don't know that much about it other than it's cool and it's big. I'm going to be looking at Canada that close. And then I will be in Montana and head south on whatever, I-90. We'll see. But I'm going to try and head down to Bozeman, Billings area. I'm going to definitely drive through Deer Lodge, Montana. Make my second appearance in my life there. And then start easing my way home depending on the route. Teddy Austin said take Highway 2 across the northern states. I got to figure what that is versus the interstate. So if you got any ideas or you've been anywhere in these states, let me know. Be glad to take your advice and add a few more miles to 4,114 miles so far on this trip. And we'll talk to everybody soon. I'll try to send another video of the next adventure of anything kind of humorous, because when there's just nothing but interstate, there's not a lot of stories to tell of active situations. So, all right, peace out. Hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to everybody soon.